Hey everybody, just give me a minute. I'm trying to get it together. I know I'm supposed to do my show Tuesdays at 2, but I had, hey everybody, major technical difficulties. And based off of that, I decided, I'm going to do what I want to do, which is I want to have my show on Tuesdays. I'm going to have my show right now. So just bear with me. I'm trying to figure out all this technical stuff. Like, I'm not a technical person. I am a mother. I am a contractor. I am a real estate agent. I can sell cabinets. I can make friends. I can be a best cousin, best sister, best auntie. But what I can't do is figure all this technical stuff out within the short period of time that I've had to do it. So just bear with me. So anyway, what I'm going to do is bring back an oldie but goodie with Chris Pugh. Now, you know Raleigh and you know anything about the real estate. You have heard this name before. Chris Pugh, I'm so proud of him. We actually recorded back in November of 2021. Right, 11/21. He believed in me then, and then I didn't believe in myself, and I kind of jumped off. But I'm back on again. If you know anything about me, you know that I will persevere. That I am tenacious. That I am straight up Bayesian woman when it comes to not giving up. I don't care how many times you knock me down. You ever hear that Cardi B song? Knock me down 9 times, I get up 10. Like knock me down 10 times or whatever. You know the song. But I will always get back up, and I will always encourage other people to get back up. Sometimes you have a helping hand, sometimes you don't. But if it's your dream, I truly believe that every dream, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the obstacles, if it's in your heart, that God put it in your heart, in your mind, He gave you the vision. He wants you to do it. He has given you the resources. He has given you the desire. He has given you the strength. He has given you the mental capacity, the intellectual capacity to fulfill that dream. I guess the big test is, are you going to give up whenever it gets rough? I did cry today. I called somebody who was like, I can't give it. But you know what? I'm back here. Went out, had me a little something to eat, had a little good time, came back. I'm live now. I'm going to do it again. I love this video because at the beginning of this video, I did a skit. And I actually drew a mustache on and did some eyebrows. And I look just like my daddy. Like, I know my father was rolling over his grave. When I tell you I came out looking like a contractor, Vincent Allman, boy, did I look like him. But anyway, y'all, without further ado, I am going to play the oldie but goodie with Chris Pugh. Chris, thank you so much for allowing me to replay this. Please listen to this, guys. I'm telling you, like, this man is a mentor. He is a born mentor. If there's nothing that he can do, he has grown so much over the past 2 years that he has his, he has taken off. He is doing such great big things. If follow him on Facebook, follow him on Instagram. If you're thinking about getting your contractor's license, by all means, he has a class, he has a school. I'm sorry, not a class, but he has an actual school where you get hands-on training on the whole construction process. So, I recommend highly that don't just read the books, but go and speak to Chris and make a decision, invest some money in yourself and your education, and shoot for your dreams, because he is definitely the guy that will help you get there. No nonsense, though. Don't come here with no mess. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I know I don't have my pink one today, but I have my red. So just call me Betty Hammer if you can handle that. All right. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. Yeah. I just pulled up to the job site right now. I'm getting ready to go check in and see what's going on. Okay. Bye. Hola. How's everybody doing? Oh, hi, Miss Tracy. Hey, did you finish the bathroom? Yes, it's all done. And what about the kitchen? All done. Okay, so since you think everything is done and you're willing to put my investment property on the market the way it is, I'm gonna have to fire that ass. I'm gonna have to fire that ass. Hi everybody, it's me, Tracy Pinkham Mevin, and welcome to Entrepreneur Pinks and Blues. I'm so excited today to bring on our guest. And the reason is because we all know that one of the hardest things when you're purchasing investment properties or having upgrades done to your house, one of the hardest things is to find a good general contractor. The reason that I love Chris is because Chris saw that there was an issue with great general contractors out there. I mean, that has been one of the biggest complaints, me as a realtor, me as a flipper. This has been one of the biggest complaints. So it's so great that Chris, he is the founder of the Pugh Builders GC Academy. So he is not just talking it, but he's actually teaching it so that we can have a new group of entrepreneur general contractors that know how to do what they're supposed to do, and they get it done right the first time. So I'm so excited that he's in. Chris is the founder of the academy. He is also a general contractor. He also mentors and he teaches and he guest speaks around the United States. And I believe I'll let him tell you, but I believe that his academy is based out of Tennessee. So anyway, y'all, thank you. I'm so happy. I'd like to introduce you to Chris. And Chris, why don't you say hi to everyone?
Hello. What's up, everyone?
Yeah, hey, this is my contractor right here. So, so Chris, okay, so I guess this show is called Entrepreneur Pinks and Blues, and the pinks being the lows. I'm sorry. I scratched that. I don't know. The pinks are the highs and the blues are the lows. It's my show and I still whatever. So I know as a contractor throughout your career, because I know that you right now you're building entrepreneurship inside of the people that you're teaching at your academy.
Right.
So why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
All right. First, I want to make a disclaimer. The academy is based out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we just opened our first class in Memphis, Tennessee last week. So it's based out of Raleigh, but it's soon to be a national brand.
I believe in that. Yes. That's good to claim. So okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your history? Like, how long have you been a general contractor?
I got into building in 2005, but I've been a licensed general contractor since 2008.
Wow, that's been a long time. So
yeah,
and you work in the Raleigh area, right? Am I correct when you say you build construction in the Triangle area?
Yeah. Okay. Last year on been building with the in the affordable housing.
Nice.
We in North Carolina, our ranges from Greensboro to Rocky Mount, Fayetteville to Wake Forest. Currently, we're always looking to expand. Like I said, we're out in Memphis, Tennessee. We're looking at going to a few other cities in Tennessee and South Carolina as well.
Wow, that's a pretty big territory. So, I'm sorry, you guys getting feedback? No, okay, you're good. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, Chris. A little technical glitch sometimes. Okay, I mean that's a long.
and raised. So, I'm 50 years, 30 years, 30 to 40 years. And, I saw in 2000 where the city of Raleigh had an initiative where they wanted to upgrade the Civic Center. And, to me, look into real estate, and I building because I always said that Raleigh had plans to upgrade. Now it's it's the #1 market in the country.
It really is. I mean, I can't even believe. I remember when I first moved here, Cary still had chickens in the road.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything is just exploding in this market. So generally speaking, why don't you tell me a couple of things? First, I want everyone to get to know you because the thing is that you're here in Raleigh and you're doing big things. But in order to get where you are right now, I'm sure you've had to explore a lot of different challenges, highs and lows.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you tell us about your evolution as a GC, as a man in construction in this, or now it's even expanded past the state of North Carolina. Go ahead and let them get to know you. Tell them you're a little bit about it.
Well, as you can imagine, like I said, I got my license in 2008. That was the beginning of the Great Recession. So I knew when I got involved in 2005 that I wanted to focus and become a custom single family home builder. But, unfortunately in 2000, the bank shut down construction lending. They cut down the providing mortgages for home buyers. So the single family construction lane was pretty much just null and void in 2008. So I had to focus on other things. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew it was going to be a lifetime proposition for me. So I focused on a lot of rehab projects. I was a lot more hands-on.
Not to interrupt you, but how did you like that, the rehab?
Well, back in during that time, I mean, I loved it because, it was providing income, and it was keeping me busy, and I was learning, because I had a guy who was, master carpenter, master tradesman, and he actually still works with me for this day. So a lot of times I would just go and solicit jobs and get jobs, and he and I would go knock them out. So, I mean, I knew I wasn't, that wasn't the position I was going to be in long term, but for that time, in the Great Recession, I loved
it. Okay.
And still do.
You still do. So after that period where you were doing rehabs, because the housing market basically came to a screeching halt, what was the next step? Because then it opened back up.
Well, the next step, I remember it was about 2011, 12. I started focusing on nonprofits that assisted individuals in getting homes. So I was able to partner with a program called NACA.
Oh, yeah.
And my pitch to NACA was, for the clients that y'all approve, instead of them trying to go find a house, I'd be, willing to and open to building them houses. So that was when the transition from remodels and repair work to new construction began, which, of course, at the time, I didn't have a lender. I didn't have my sub base intact. So I had to partner with existing GCs who were a little more established than I was, But we figured it out, we worked it out, and I was able to start, the process of building from the ground up.
Nice. Okay, so now let's fast forward to now, and then because I'm gonna go back through, I'm gonna ask you what your pinks and your blues were, and
Okay.
I want you to tell me the honest truth. But right
Okay.
now, why don't you just tell everybody? Because one of the biggest concerns that I have in any of my investor groups, of course, finding the house. Once you find the house, you close on the deal, then you have this house here, or you have a piece of land, an undeveloped piece of land, and then you have to find the contractor.
Right.
And even though there are so many people claiming to be professional contractors,
yeah,
people
like
are getting
that.
burned and burned and burned and burned, and it is. I mean, the job sites are being left. No one's showing up halfway through it. People are leaving. The thing I like about you is that you tell the truth. You knew that there was a problem with finding a good contractor. You didn't deny it or act like it wasn't any of your business. So why don't you tell everyone about your GC Academy?
I started the GC Academy to kind of like provide the kind of mentorship that I feel is absent when you get into general contracting. You can go to community college and pick up electrical license, a plumbing license, or heating and air certification. But there's nowhere you could go to learn the trade of becoming a general contractor. Because when I was, early in my career, I looked for these type of programs and mentorship opportunities, and there really wasn't none there, and I kind of was for my game on my own. I had a few mentors, but they didn't really see it on the scale that I did at the time. And one thing, Tracy, that I said to myself when it was time for me to commit full time, I said, I saw how a lot of other contractors that I had partnered with, how they acted, how they treated the clients. And, I saw a lot of things that they did that I didn't agree with. And, and I said to myself that, if I just do what I say I'm going to do, I'll be okay, because I saw a lot of contractors that wasn't doing what they said they was going to do and the problems it caused for clients. And that was the first, that was the first indication where I felt like, I can do okay in this, because I've always been the kind of person that, I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do.
Right. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about you. If you say you're gonna do it, you do it. And I've known you a few years, and I just see you growing and adding on, not falling off. I mean, I know in this business, as an entrepreneur, as someone who has to create their own income, there are times when you could probably just chew your own foot off because the stress is unbelievable. So I'm gonna start with the blues first. And I need it. Listen, Chris. I need a Carolina blue, like a blue.
Like my shirt, my hat.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. So go ahead and give me a scenario, an experience that you had where you felt like I'm going to give up. Or if you said I'm not going to give up, you were like, why am I doing this? But we've all had those crossroad moments as entrepreneurs, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I've had a few of those along the way. I'll say one big situation where I kind of, I like to say I was forced out of, I almost quit this 4 times in 16 years. And 2 times I feel like I was being forced out, and 2 times I was just gonna drop the ball and just go try to do something else. One of those incidents was I was working with some investors. This was, around 2014, 15, where, like I said, I didn't have the banking relationships. I didn't have a steady team of subs. So as a general contractor, I wasn't really set up to be an independent contractor. I needed partners. I needed investors who could go and get the funding from the banks. So I was working on 3 houses for an investor in Durham. And, around this time, investors started transitioning from flipping houses to wanting to get with contractors such as myself and start building, but they're controlling the money. So 3 houses for Durham. And the first house we started, we was dated. I was dropping off flooring. And the second house, we had just did the mechanical rough ends, heating, and electrical, and plumbing before we do the drywall. And the third house was just framed. At that time, he decided that he could finish the houses from that point. Mind you, he was flipper, so he just couldn't come out the ground. But he could finish a house, from buying a house, gutting it out, and taking it back. So when I got the houses to that point, he didn't want me involved anymore. And I was, I'm the type of non-confrontational type of individual. So I was like, okay, that's fine if you want to finish the houses. But the problem was he didn't want to pay the invoices that was due up to that time. And his reluctance to pay the invoices left me owing about $50,000 to $75,000 to various subs and vendors. And I'm gonna tell you, Tracy, that was I had never owed nobody that much money in my life.
I know that's right.
I couldn't sleep. And that was a time that I was almost forced out of the game, because I didn't know how I was going to pay these people back. I didn't know how I was going to recover from that. And a friend of mine, one of my GC buddies, older guy, he said to me one day, he said, Chris, you just got to keep building. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I do make money when I build the houses. I just got to keep building. So that's what I did. I just kept building. It took me a while to get back into the spirit to keep building. I probably went into a deep depression for about 4 months. I was floored. I didn't see that train coming.
Right.
That was probably my biggest blue since I've been in construction. Not my only one, but I never owed nobody that much money behind all of the other blues.
Right.
But yeah, that was, and then I didn't know my worth, so I wasn't charging him.
There you go.
Yeah, I was totally cheating myself. And what that lesson taught me was, you can't offer enough of a discount to make the deal go good.
Say that again.
You can't offer enough of a discount to make the deal go good.
I hope my entrepreneurs are listening.
Oh yeah. You got to know your worth, know your value, stand on it, and you might not get as many customers, but you don't want a plethora of customers. You want quality customers.
Right.
You want customers that appreciate what you bring to the table, and are fine paying you what you say your fee is.
And what's so crazy is that in me being a real agent, and then I do small renovations, so nothing like you do, but mostly with me is project management. For a while there, I was actually hands-on, but that's a whole nother. But you hear more stories about how investors get burned by the contractors. People rarely ever tell the story of how they burn the contractor.
Right.
When we're at our investor meetings, everybody's an angel.
Right.
It's always the contractor's fault.
Right.
They don't talk about how they didn't get the materials there on time. They didn't pay the invoice so he could pay his guys so that they can come back to work. They don't talk about breaking promises, changing plans, dropping the ball, running out of funding, and all the terrible things that they do. Where now, mind you, they have their income for their household still coming in. This is the way you generate your income for your household.
Yep.
And when they pull the plug or do something wrong, it's personal for you. This is your livelihood. This is your way of life. So
that's correct.
But you don't hear these stories, you know. So here it is, people. You know, you got to treat your general contractor right when they're doing right. And you know when they're doing right, because Chris quick to say, I'm not getting in no mess. I'm not touching that.
I done been there and done that.
Something he can't shine on and make you shine on and make you get your money back from your investment. And that's real. And that's the type of thing that you're teaching at your academy. Integrity, standing up and keeping your word and being the best at not just your craft, but at the professional business part of it.
Yes. We teach at our academy, we teach treat our subs as partners. Treat our lenders as partners. Treat our vendors as partners, because without the subs who are doing 99.9% of the construction of the homes, we ain't building no houses. Without our lenders, without our vendors, we're not building any houses. So a lot of contractors, they have an ego apparatus about them where they think, I'm the big fish. Everybody work for me. I control this, that, and other, but they're not swinging one hammer.
Don't play me. You lucky we over there. You over there.
So I just like I've got guys been working with me for 12 years, 5 years, 9 years, because I treat them as partners and I treat them as that I'm no better. I'm no more important as the GC as they are in the equation. And they appreciate that, and that's what we teach at the academy, that, once you're doing enough projects and you got enough cash flow going, you know how people, money make you feel like, you on top of everything.
Right. Money will turn a frog into a prince quick.
You know what I'm saying? So I just teach the individuals that come to the academy about staying home, making sure you pay your guys, you know what I'm saying? And, making sure you pay your vendors and that, you just keep a nice little synergy going with your team. I teach them about the difference between an A team, a B team, a C team, and a D team.
Okay.
Your A team, so asking you for money before the job is done.
Oh my! I hate that. You get fired today, all their money is gone, and they asking for money and catching an attitude because there's no money to be given until the next day.
Subs that need money up front. I provide all the material, so what am I paying you up front for?
Right.
So I don't deal with. I call them E-team subs. I don't deal with subs that always talk money before the job is done and need any money up front. I because I've done that in the past, and you would think that, okay, I'm creating loyalty by looking out and giving them a few $100s before they start the job, but it never ends right.
Never ends right. And you think that it's helping them with their gas, their lunch until they get their first check or the first draw,
right,
or whatever. But then it's not for that. And again, there's too many to count of the subs that act like that. Okay.
That's right. And so it's taken me years to craft my A-team subs, but they trust that they're gonna get paid. So, you know, and what you establish when you create that trust is there's always a reason for a subcontractor to have to go back to a job. And it ain't because they didn't do something right. Maybe the sub behind them had to alter their work to get his work done, and you need the guy to come back and just touch it up. Well, if you ain't paying your guys, they not coming back.
Right. That's right.
You know, and or if they feel like, man, I had to chase them down so long to get that check, I don't want him to owe me no more money, so I'm not going back.
Right.
You know, it's all sorts of you know, it's all sorts of ways and avenues how the trust is fractured between the GC and the sub. And you know, some general contractors, they shop for prices. You know, a lot of investors.
What does that mean? Shop for prices.
Well, that means, and I get calls all, you know, sometimes where folks will say, hey, I want a quote on something. And I tell them, well, how many quotes you looking for? 3? Well, go get your other 2 quotes. Go get them first. Because it takes time to quote a job. And in today's volatile material pricing market, if I give you a quote today and we don't buy that lumber for 3 months, now you trying to hold me to what I told you 3 months ago, and it's just unrealistic.
Oh, you dropping some real jewels tonight. Okay, so I have a question.
Been in the game for a while.
I have a very important question, because one of the things that I'm noticing is that a lot of people are not hiring GCs for major renovations. They're having subs come in and they're trying to, even though they have a full-time job, they're trying to GC the project, right?
They're trying to be cheap.
What'd you say?
They're trying to be cheap.
Right. They're trying to be frugal and save some money.
Okay, frugal. Yeah, they're being frugal. Okay. We'll call it frugal tonight. Okay.
So with that being said, one of the biggest problems they have is not having, I guess, what did you call them? Grade A type subs.
18
on their sites. And what's happening is they're paying the money up front. They're being talked to wrong. I can attest to, I mean, literally having to get a 2x4 and chase somebody up off the job site because, you know, the aggression, you know, or whatever. So why don't you tell, for the ones that really want to know, because this is important. It's not just about managing jobs. It's about managing the people that you work with. Because if they don't respect you, and who knows where that comes from. If they don't respect you, they're going to do a horrible job for you. They'll walk off your job and go chase another job and come back to you 3 months later and let you sit there and pay interest on your project.
Right.
So why don't you say, I don't know, could you give advice to the person who is trying to manage a bunch of subs on how to go about it so that they don't get played?
Well, the first thing, don't pay nobody up front. That's number one. And we're talking about someone who act as general contractor by, you know, by managing the project process. Don't pay nobody up front. Definitely, if I was in that position and I'm dealing with subcontractors that I haven't done work with before, then I got to get references. Give me some clients, whether they're investors, whether they're homeowners that you worked for before, because I need to know how you act as a subcontractor, just like you're concerned with how I'm going to act as a contractor or general contractor. You know, because here's why that happens. Okay, Tracy, you call me and you're doing a renovation. You do one renovation every now and then, right? Let's say you just, and it happens more with people that are just getting started.
Yeah.
The subcontractor knows more than you as the investor / contractor.
Right.
They know that most experienced contractors are not paying them up front, but they'll come ask you, with the sob story and explain to you why they need some money up front. They ain't upset if you say no, but in those situations, a lot of beginners think they're creating loyalty by saying yes, and it never ends right. Your jobs get delayed. Like you said before, they leave your job to go chase another job. And so A-team sub is not going to, like the subs that I deal with, I might have to wait 3 weeks for a guy. When I call him, I try to call him, 2-3 weeks in advance. Hey, I'm gonna be ready for you to come over here and start framing in a couple of weeks. He might say, I got 2 houses ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I don't go try to find another framer. I wait.
You get on the schedule and you wait.
I wait.
And I think that's the right. I think that's the right thing, to get on the calendar and wait, because it's very professional. That's what you do in in an office building, in the corporate world. You get on the schedule and you keep, and they show up. They keep their appointments. That also speaks volumes. Right.
Because if you, now let's say that I don't want to wait and I call another guy. Now I'm not certain about what he's going to charge me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not certain of his quality. I don't know if this is one of the guys that will come and start my job and then tie my job up, and by going to start 2 or 3 more jobs, to have 3 jobs tied up. And now he feel like he winning. And the worst time to find that out is after you didn't want to wait on the first guy, you call another guy, and now you can't get him on the phone. He show up the first day with 5 people, and you don't see 5 people on your job no more. A person or 2 here or there.
Wait, time out.
Go ahead.
Because now that's the truth. The first day they show up with a van of.
Oh yeah.
And then the next time you go to the job site, there's one guy standing in a 2,400 square foot house with a one
I done seen them pull up with their wives. And look, I'm standing on the curb like this, like, you know how your boy said in Menace to Society, you done messed up, don't you? I'm looking at them and I'm like, Lord have mercy, I'm in trouble. So,
and the mess that happens is once those people disappear, and then your original person has to come behind. Do you go behind other contractors?
What I tell you the other day when we showed up in Durham, I said, that's a mess. I don't do messes. Because here's why it's a mess. By the time the original contractor either gets fired or quits or can't finish the job, he's been given some money.
Right.
Okay? So let's say the investor say, I got $10,000 in the budget for this task. I done gave him $4,000. But guess what? Not only did he not finish the task, but he started it incorrectly. So if we come in, we got to go back to square zero.
So it's extra work and less money.
Thank you. That's why I don't do messes. And what I said earlier, you cannot offer a deep enough discount to make the job go right.
Oh my God. I'll tell you right now, you hitting all of the points. I mean, you'd be surprised the conversations I've had over the past 2 weeks, and people weren't there. But the people that were in the conversations are probably going to watch this and go, oh my God, because again, we were talking about it from the perspective of the investor.
Right.
but somebody needed to sit down with a real GC and hear what's going on, because you know, so when it comes to time to manage these people, so you don't pay them up front.
No.
And you make sure you check their references, correct?
Yes.
They should have references. If they've been working, they should have clients.
And the third thing, Tracy, go see some of their work.
Right, because pictures, let me tell you something. The truth, I've had people show me pictures. First of all, they point the camera in the angle where you only see the good part of the work that they did, right? Or they're showing you someone else's work, and there's no way that you would know they didn't do that work.
Look, I'm guilty of that. When I first started, my first brochure, them houses weren't my houses, but they look like the houses that I wanted to build. Now, what you see is what you get. Those are my houses, you know. So, but I knew back then that I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do. So, but you're very true when you say that some people, they'll show you pictures of some other people's work. And what I like to do, like I'll jump out on the job site and solicit subcontractors. So I'm watching their work. And I may sit in the car or in the truck for 10 or 15 minutes before I even get out and approach them.
Right.
I want to make sure, I want to see how everybody's working.
Right.
Are they keeping the job site clean? Are they working?
That's a big one.
Yeah. So there have been times I've been at a job scouting, and it's not like I'm just riding, going through my, normal day, and I see a job site and I'll stop. There have been times I've stayed there for 10 minutes and just drove off. I don't want their number. I keep going, and they don't know who I am or why I was sitting over there. Nothing. We don't even need to know each other.
Right. That's what that's, and it's just like, because when it's a relationship, these people that you're working with, they're dependent on you. You're dependent on them. It needs to be a win-win situation.
We're a team.
Right. And if someone is already, it's like they get scratching and doing hey, you don't need to go no further. So it's like supporting them. You're looking at this as a long-term relationship. I want to see how you act when when you don't think anybody's watching you, because that's really the tell. What are they doing and everything like that? Do you put cameras at your job sites ever?
Nah, I haven't did that because I'm in a subdivision in Middlesex and they got a few cameras up. But I mean, because I'm dealing with my A team. We're not stealing nothing. They're not stealing nothing from each other. My subcontractors know each other.
Right, because they have a relationship.
Right. So if somebody leaves them, then the drawer is gonna know the framer, or the painter is gonna know it's probably the drywaller or one of the mechanical trades, and they'll bring it to me. Hey, somebody left a drill, and then I'll call around and say, hey, anybody missing the drill? So, as far as cameras, and in today's market, there is a lot of material theft off of jobs, but the way we combat that is we try not to just have material sitting around.
Right, because it'll walk. We used to say it'll get legs and walk away. Like especially things like light fixtures. The day they come in is the day they need to go up, because that's something you don't want, light fixtures and to walk away. Things that anybody can take to any house and use it for them or resell it easily.
Right.
Those are the things that they're not going to really go take a 5-pound, 50-pound bag of concrete so fast as they would a light fixture or a faucet. And appliances,
the scoundrels, because by the time we're putting in the fixtures and finishes, we have lockbox on the doors.
Okay.
But when you're framing or before you get your windows and exterior doors on, nails, lumber, things of that nature, any tools, please don't leave no tools. But those things, you got people out here that, they just, I call them scoundrels, they jump in the game when it's a high time like now. Back in 05 and 08, well, about 08, 09, or 10, it was really the more sound companies and individuals, because the scoundrels was off doing something else.
Right. I understand.
But they back now.
They back. It's
Yeah,
like,
they
they doesn't go long. They was just go ahead and taking a little vacation. I tell you, it is always you see it over and over. You live long enough, you will see the cycle. So
that's how a lot of investors get taken advantage of, because these scoundrel contractors are just taking money, not doing what they say they're gonna do, playing with 5 people and only bring back 1 or 2, doing those type of things. They're no better.
And there's no one to teach them. So what you did was, you can't teach the investors, but what you can do and what you are doing is creating a team of really good, integrity-based general contractors that know their stuff and think professional and think team and think longevity and and so the mindset, the entrepreneur mindset that you're also teaching them is carrying on out into the construction world. And it's so necessary, it's so needed. So okay, so now
Tracy, what you would be surprised at is a lot of the participants that come to my class are entrepreneurs, realtors, investors, house flippers, women. The very end. Yeah, oh yeah,
I saw the
we
pictures on Facebook. I saw your crew of women. I said, okay.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be a mean team now. When we get everything in place, it's gonna be mean.
Good.
But it's a lot of people that have been subject to some of the blues that we're discussing and dealing with contractors, that they're like, you know what? Until this academy, there was nowhere for them to be other than what they are or what they were.
Right.
Investors, realtors, flippers. Now, with the opportunity to move the contractor out of the way and become the contractor, they already understand real estate. It's a beautiful thing.
So is there a shortage of contractors?
Well, there's a 6 million shortage of houses in America. So the current group of contractors nationwide, we only build 1 million houses a year. So shortage of contractors, I would say so.
Right. Okay. So now we talked about the blues.
Okay.
And now I'm assuming that you're pink, and I'm sure that you're okay with calling your happy part, the happy portion of this conversation pink, because pink is a beautiful color.
Yeah,
why don't you tell us about your pinks? Because somewhere along the line, you had to shake off all the blues and become the star that you are right now. Right? So why don't you tell us about that experience?
Well, the most important thing that I enjoy about being a general contractor is I get to assist and educate clients who either have been burned, would be burned, by the way I conduct business and the way I communicate with my clients about the process of what it is that I'm doing and what, how I do it. Some have been, like I've built houses for people, it was their second home. And so they would always be like, oh man, the first contractor, he didn't let me do this or he did that. And they see the difference in the way I do things. That's really a big, plus and a big a big motivation. The second thing is, the controlling of one's destiny.
That's a big one. And that's why a lot of people become entrepreneurs, because somewhere inside of them, they need to do that.
Yes. So being able to schedule our times, schedule, when I meet clients at jobs or when I meet clients at the office, and not really having to wake up and say, oh man, I'm late, I overslept, I'm supposed to be at the office at 8:00, boss is gonna be mad, or I'm gonna get, this is my third, late time being late in 2 weeks, are they gonna suspend me or fire me or whatever the case may be? That's another big, advantage and a big perk that I enjoy. It allows me to take care of my family. It allows me, because I realized a long time ago that the key to life and the key to happiness in life is finding something you enjoy doing and something that you would do for free.
Oh, okay.
And then the key is figuring out how to make it afford you the lifestyle you want to live.
That's so awesome. That's such good advice. I mean, and a lot of people who are thinking about it, they needed to hear that, because I believe that when you think in concept like that, it helps put things in perspective so you can make better decisions. And that's excellent.
Well, that's how you get through the blues. You gotta love it, because, and I tell anybody, if you getting into contracting for the money, don't do it. If you getting into trucking for the money, don't do it. Find something you enjoy doing. Find something that you will spend your time doing if nobody pays you, because that's something you can possibly become great at.
Right.
And anytime you become great at something, then you write your own checks.
And that's freedom.
Yes.
And it's also creating, using your creativity, and that, so when talking about that, I always say that entrepreneurship is a lifestyle, because people say, oh, it's business, it's not personal, but it's always personal when you're an entrepreneur, because if this doesn't go right, then my home's not taken care of. But it's not just getting up, going to work, getting a check. I mean, it is your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your financial well-being, be, like you said, being happy, being joyful. If you would still do it without getting paid, does it make you, these things, it's a mindset. It's not just it's a lifestyle. It's not just, and I always tell people that, because, now the era that we're in with social media, people are inventing and making money off of the craziest stuff. They're showing you that if you can think it, there's a way to make an income off of it. So
exactly right.
And so you're right. That's freedom. Oh my God. So I knew you was gonna be good. I did it. I said it. Oh, I have to tell you my new catchphrase for my job site, because you know that I have been through it. I'm trying to run the job site. I'm good now.
Right.
But I also know how to stay in my lane in my project management portion of it, and bring in a GC who's gonna tell me what way to go, which is why I call you, because like you said, if you don't start right, it ain't gonna finish right? So it's calling you whatever. So you want to hear my new catchphrase that everybody is laughing about? Is when I go to the job site and I get someone that's less than an A, then I go over to them and I was like, I'll just say, you're fired. And I say that I'm gonna fire that ass and fire that ass. And that's the new thing. If they're not doing you right, if they're asking for money, if they can't provide references, fire that ass. And
that's right.
and
That's
there's
right.
nothing wrong with it. Don't feel bad. There is someone out there that will take their place that's going to do right by you.
That's
And
right.
Chris, you're on Facebook, right? You have your information on Facebook, and I'll make sure I put a post on how people can contact you so that they can talk to you further about if they want to get their GC license.
Okay. Yeah, we on Facebook, we on Instagram, we on YouTube, we on TikTok, we on all the social media platforms. We will be having a in Raleigh on January 22nd at the North Raleigh Hilton. We're looking to have because right now we have a class of 17 that will be preparing. We're about to start ordering their textbooks. Come January, we see the test. So around March, April, we'll be looking to start another class session in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're doing a seminar in Greensboro, North Carolina on January the 29th. Right now we're currently on our GC Academy tour, the Pew Builders GC Academy tour. That's 3 states in South Carolina, 3 states in North Carolina, 4 states in Tennessee.
Okay, and you're gonna post all this information on Facebook, and so people will be able to follow. Okay, and I think they have that. So I waited to the end in case we have to edit this out, because now I do want to ask you a personal question. Well, I want to make a statement in the comments. So if we have to edit this part out, it's fine.
Teen grandkids, and they keep me up on it. So, I can't even take all that credit. I'm a good listener.
Oh, good. Well, that's important. That's important. But I guess I want to talk to you about your vibe, your swag, the way you stay true to yourself.
Okay.
And are still conducting business and still evolving and still walking into the boardroom and making deals and still working with banks and making deals. Can you just, because I want people to understand that. I want them to understand how you move, what you're doing, the statement that you're making by just being yourself. And I know that you're very aware of it, because you definitely are an intelligent person and you're quick. So elaborate on that for me, because you look more like, I don't know, you should be in entertainment or something like that, as opposed to, construction. And it's the truth, but your stuff. Your stuff. So go ahead and elaborate on that, because I want people to learn how to be their authentic self. I do not want people dumbing down or changing how they move just to make the deal. So. Right.
Well, like you said, Tracy, it's all about knowing your stuff. Okay. I tried I used to wear the construction attire, as I was learning the game and I was more hands-on. But, I'm really, at a point in my life where, I got to be comfortable, the clothes that I wear and the way that I present myself, they just clothes, and they just, I could be a high vibration individual or a low vibration individual. The clothes don't really have any effect on that vibration, but it's this is how I'm comfortable.
Right.
And I just try to be an example to show folks that, you don't have to put on the shiny suits. You don't have to, I still, like you said, I still go into those banks, in those offices, in those boardrooms, dressed the way I'm dressed right now. Because me, I put on the suits and the blazers. The banks didn't give me no money. They didn't give me one loan because I had on a blue blazer.
So this is true. I have to laugh because it's so true, because it don't mean nothing. That has absolutely nothing to do with that.
The banks didn't start, dealing with me and trusting me until I could prove I knew what I was doing.
Right.
And one thing I want, our community to understand is that if folks can make money with you, they don't care what you wear. As long as they're getting their return on investment, as long as the money's coming back, I could care less what you decide to put on when you leave your house in the morning.
That's it.
So I listen to my grandkids, I try to,
Do they help you? They help you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They keep me drip.
Yeah, that's it. Drip.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's the word. That is the word. Okay, everybody. So I had such a good time talking to you, Chris.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And helping me and supporting me in my new venture, Entrepreneur Pinks and Blues. I do appreciate it. I will do everything I can to channel any kind of inquiries and everything back to you so that you can respond to them, and hopefully it'll have some type of impact on how many people are interested in seeing what your academy is about and hiring you to build houses and growing your business even more. So I appreciate this. And I don't know, guys, I had a great time. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and I will talk to you guys. Next week actually is Thanksgiving. There will not be a show, so it'll be the week after next. So enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody.
So everybody, I just want to thank everybody for watching. Before we go, I know that we're still live and I'm looking at some things. So before we go, I just want to remind everyone about, because Chris, who is a GC, just got off of there, we're on the topic of project management. We're on the topic of renovating our construction, okay? I only know residential. I'm not a commercial contractor. I only know project management for residential. I have flipped probably over 50 homes in my career, maybe more. I've probably done, countless jobs for other people where I wasn't actually flipping a home, but just maybe a renovation job. So when I speak to you, I'm speaking to you from experience. I'm not speaking to you from a place of, I haven't crawled under the house. I haven't climbed the ladder. I haven't been on the roof. I haven't been yelled at or chased off the job site, I switched that, or chased somebody off the job site. I truly have project management experience when it comes to residential flips. And I've gone from Fayetteville all the way back out to Durham and everywhere in between. So there are differences in the layouts of the construction depending on the developer and the builder for that area. So I say all this to say, one of the most important things, I'll speak as clear as I can possibly speak, when you are about to begin a project, is to have a scope of work. Do not depend on your contractor to develop your scope of work. You have to know, write it down, what you want your project, the outcome of your project to look like, what your vision is. Walk through the house, room by room, and write down all the things in that room specifically that you want done. Then take that, compile it into a scope of work, group it together however you want to group it, to organize it on your little your Word document or in your email, and then you share it with your contractor. Your contractor will then walk through, look at what you have noted on your scope of work, and make suggestions to what you already have in your vision. If there are no further suggestions, then they will give you a price based off of your scope of work. What you don't want to do is have the contractor make a scope of work for you, because this is what's happening. Now, please, I want you to pay close attention. What's happening is the contractor is devising the scope of work and giving it to the person, and then they give you a price. That price is not all inclusive. Next thing you know, you're paying a la carte. Next thing you know, you're paying for this thing and that thing, and your budget has now increased thousands of dollars because the original scope of work, the original estimate, did not include everything that you wanted done in your house, that you wanted done on your project, that you wanted done on the property. So please, 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 if you need help, contact me, read off the scope of work. You know, I am definitely a project manager that has a whole system in place. I'm very available to assist. Give me a call. I'll be happy to you know, help you out. There is a program that I have. There's a virtual one where I'm just kind of consulting, and then there's one where I'm actually managing the project. So whichever one you decide you want to do, and we can go through, and I can help you understand how to build your scope of work, and then that will be it. So anyway, I want to thank everyone. I am going to change the time of my show. I'm going to tell you, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock is just way too stressful. I have way too many things going on. People are calling, phone is blowing up, dogs are barking, mailman's dropping off stuff, making my dogs go crazy. I have to go to the job site. I have to go to Lowe's. I just can't anymore. So Tuesdays at 2 is off. I'm going to do Tuesday evenings from now on. I may do Thursday evenings from now on. It is yet to be seen. It's up to me. And I am just going to kind of wing it, because in actuality, I'm here to help. And I don't really feel like there needs to be a schedule or rhyme or reason when I get on Facebook Live. That's just how I am. So anyway, I enjoyed everyone. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.